Now, there should be a bunch of event slides, which apparently we're not going to, but because we have a little bit of time, I want to make a special point of saying that our birthday, our 35th birthday celebration is coming up really soon, and Candy Melke did a super job last week talking about what we need, and we still need more help, and if you could see her later on today in the cafe, she'd really appreciate any help you can give her. Okay? And as you can see, we offer a variety of opportunities, events, classes, so we may gather together to learn and have fun. Key word. Stop by the information station on your way to the Gratitude Cafe for more information. And now relax and take in today's daily word. And it's lively. Anything? No. Okay, Sunday, March 15th, 2026. I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. There is a glorious unseen flow at the heart of all creation, moving in and through me. As I align with this sacred energy, I feel vibrantly alive. I imagine myself part of the great living whole. I am one with the trees, whose boughs sway in the wind, with the with the mountains and hills echoing with ancient voices, with the waters trickling over stone. Even the quiet earth hums a sacred song. Today I will listen more closely, breathe more deeply, and move with intention. Life is not separate from me. I am its expression. In harmony with its rhythm, the world begins to sing. I recognize its lively song is singing to me too. And from Isaiah, for you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall burst into song, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands.
So if you're comfortable, close your eyes and let's begin. So take a deep breath in, gently release it. Again, breathing in, breathing out. Allow your body to soften. Allow your mind to become still. And allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. And now gently bring your awareness to the center of your chest, the space of the heart. Not just the physical heart, but the spiritual heart, the center of love, the center of wisdom, the center of divine presence within you. Breathe as though you are breathing in and out through your heart. With each inhale, imagine a light entering your heart. With each exhale, imagine that light expanding. Living from the center of the heart means living from love rather than fear. It means responding rather than reacting. It means choosing compassion over judgment. It means remembering who you truly are, and who you are is love. At the core of your being is something steady and luminous. It is not anxious. It is not hurried. It is not divided. It is whole. It is wise. It is deeply connected to all life. Rest there. If thoughts arise, let them drift like clouds. Return to the heart space. Return to the breath. Return to love. And now silently affirm within yourself, I live from my heart. I choose love as my first response. My heart is open, strong, and wise. Divine love flows through me now. I trust the guidance of my heart. Feel those words as truth, not something you must make happen, but something already alive within you. Imagine now someone in your life, perhaps someone who's easy to love. See them surrounded in light. From your heart, silently bless them. May you be peaceful. May you be whole. May you know you are loved. And now, if you're willing, bring someone to mind who is more challenging. Without forcing anything, simply allow them to appear. Notice that the heart has room, even here. From the strength of your spiritual center, extend light towards them. Not to approve, not to excuse, but to free your own heart. Say quietly, I release you to your highest good. I remain anchored in love. Feel the spaciousness that comes from when you live with your heart rather than the old patterns. Now bring your awareness back to yourself. Place a hand over your heart if that feels comfortable. Feel its steady rhythm. This rhythm has been within you before you had words. It has carried you through every joy, every sorrow. Your heart knows the way. Living from your heart does not mean being passive. It means being courageous. It means being authentic. It means allowing love to be the organizing power of your life. Take one more slow breath. Let it go. And as you prepare to return to this room, carry this knowing. You do not have to search for love. You are an expression of it. You do not have to force wisdom. It rises naturally from an open heart. And so today and in the days ahead, may you pause before you speak. May you soften before you judge. May you choose from the heart. And so it is.
Please join me. Normally the words would be up there. The Lord's Prayer. Is my microphone on, John? I'm not sure. Yes, it is. It is on. Okay. Okay. You know the words. I think most of you know the tune as well. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth
Before I begin, I have to tell you a story. When I was doing the meditation just now, I started to think, if you remember, I asked you to breathe, take a breath, and let it out. I did that 3 times. And it just reminded me, when I was in the school of ministry, we started every class with a prayer. And it's like a big deal to get up and do the prayer, because you're doing it in front of all people that, that are like Ginny, that are practitioners and ministerial students, and it's very scary. And the first time I ever did it, I psyched myself up all day to get up there. This is the truth. And I got up, and I said to everybody, take a deep breath in, and I began with the prayer. When I got done with the prayer, the minister who was teaching the class, he got up and he said, come on back up here. And he said, I usually don't critique people's prayers. He said, but you told everybody to take a deep breath in. You never told them to release it. Didn't you notice everybody turning purple the whole time you were praying? So I always remember to do it the right way. So this morning, I want to speak about living from your heart. And I want to begin with a reading. I don't even remember where I got it. It's titled, Note to Self. What is my purpose in life, I asked the void. What if I told you that you fulfilled it when you took an extra hour to talk to that kid about his life, said the voice. Or when you paid for that young couple in the restaurant. Or when you saved that dog in traffic. Or when you tied your father's shoes for him. Your problem is that you equate your purpose with goal-based achievement. The universe isn't interested in your goal-based achievements, just your heart. When you choose to act out of kindness, compassion, and love, you are already aligned with your true purpose. No need to look any further. Within each of us, there's a place that's wiser than fear, older than doubt, and stronger than any story you've ever told about yourself. That place is your heart. In all New Thought teaching, we teach that life doesn't happen to us, that life happens through us. And when we live from our heart, we create a life of intention. It's said that the mind analyzes and the heart knows. The mind says, what if I fail? The heart says, what if I fly? Imagine making decisions from that place. Imagine having conversations from that place. Imagine building relationships from that place. Imagine building your career from that place. And maybe most important, imagine building communities from that place. When we open our hearts, the illusion that we're separate disappears. So I want to tell you a fable. And the fable is about a group of people that's made their transition, and they're all standing in line waiting for judgment. And of course, they're all thinking. And some of them are thinking, I wonder if they're going to ask me if I was a good parent. Or I wonder if they're going to ask me if I made a great contribution. Or maybe they're going to ask me, was I generous? Or maybe they're going to say, did I come to services every Sunday? And when it gets to be each person's turn, they're only asked one question. How well did you love? You know, Mother Teresa was once asked, what's the purpose of life? And she said, to give and receive love. You know, we are a culture that values doing. We judge ourselves by what we've accomplished. But the truth is, seeking money or fame or things aren't going to guarantee us any happiness. What will guarantee us happiness is if we remember the words of Helen Keller, who said, fidelity to a worthy purpose. Fidelity to a worthy purpose. So I want to share something with you, and I wasn't sure because it's kind of a downer. And I said to Becky, is this too dark to share? And she said, nah, go ahead. So it's not me doing it. So when we talk about fidelity to a worthy purpose, Becky and I know somebody. He used to own a restaurant. And when we'd go, it was a pizza place, and I love pizza. So and it was a really good restaurant. But we noticed there was constant turnover in the servers and in the people that were making the pizza, and we would hear him yelling. And one day I mentioned him to another friend of ours who knew him and had nothing good to say about him. And we know there are several people in our circle of friends that know him. And any time his name came up, nobody ever had anything good to say about him. And about 2 weeks ago, we were in a different pizza place, and our server said, hey, I remember you from so-and-so's restaurant. I used to work there. And she went on and on about what a terrible person he was. And when she left, I said to Becky, could you imagine living your life in such a way that your legacy is that nobody wants to be near you, that nobody can really stand you, to be honest? That, you know, when we speak about fidelity to a worthy purpose, like love, caring, kindness, compassion, that you don't seem to have any of it, wouldn't that be a terrible legacy for anybody to live? David Spangler is a spiritual writer, and one of the books he wrote is titled The Call. And he says in there that the primal call is to love and receive love, which is exactly what I just said Mother Teresa said. And he said that it calls us out of ourselves. And what does it mean to be called out of yourself? It means, to me anyway, that I am my brother's keeper. It means that because we're part of a wholeness, your well-being is part of my well-being. I once read, this seems like kind of a cruel experiment to do, but I once read that psychologists have done an experiment where they take a cigarette and they burn the tip of somebody's finger and they measure what part of their brain lights up. But there's also somebody else who's just looking at this take place. And they measure that person's brain waves too. And the same exact spot in the brain that lights up with the person being burned lights up with the person watching. You know, in the deepest level, we're all one. So I want to give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about kindness and caring. And the first one is from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Now, my wife and I have been married for 35 years. My wife loves that movie. So in 35 years, I've seen it 2,000 times. I've seen it in black and white. I've seen it colorized. There's no way that I have not suffered through that movie. I mean, the first 500 times it's good. After that, anyway, probably most of you have seen it. But in that movie, James Stewart stars as George Bailey. That's his character. And George is a wonderful person. But at some point towards the end of the movie, George really sours on life. And George is ready to commit suicide until an angel named Clarence intervenes. And Clarence shows George just what his life has been like, what his kindness has done, how it saved the people in his community and all of the people around him. It shows him how his kindness has touched people that he never realized, and it turns him around. So I want to tell you a more personal story about that. So Becky and I met and lived in Southern California. And one of the churches we went to, the minister's name was Reverend Joy. And I absolutely got to love Joy. And Becky and I got to be very good friends with her. And I would describe her as being feisty, okay? And a long time after we left, I used to call Joy once or twice a year, and we talk. And Joy made her transition last year in June or July. But a few years ago, I saw something that I don't even remember honestly what it was. But whatever it was I saw, it was the same exact thing that Joy had done for me. And when I saw it, I thought to myself, I don't think I ever appropriately thanked her for what she did. So I called her up and I told her what I was thinking. And I thanked her. And there was this long pause after I told her. And she said, "Ron Fox, you know I love you, don't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "So you're not going to take what I'm about to say to you personally, are you?" And I said, "I don't know." And there was another long pause, and she said, "Ron, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about." And then she got serious. And she said, "But you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing, Ron. You know why? Because as you walk the path of your life, you're going to touch a lot of people. And you're not going to know all of the people that you touched. Because some of them might not realize it in the moment, and some of them just might say thank you in the moment, but you're going to be touching them." And she said, "So here's the trick, Ron. The trick is to keep on walking and keep on touching, because that's what life is all about." And when I was preparing this, I thought this week it reminded me of something that Maya Angelou once said. She said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." You know, the Dalai Lama said that small acts of kindness can create a great effect. And this week, Becky and I, in fact, were talking about it on the way here. We usually go shopping to Publix together. But last week, Becky went one day by herself. And she came home, and I have to tell you, when I go into Publix, I talk to everybody. So all of the cashiers know us, and I kid around with them, and we talk. A lot of the women are Dallas Cowboys fans, and I'm not, so we argue about football. But Becky came home, and she said, you know, there are about 3 or 4 of new people there, including one manager, and they all came up and said, hello, glad you came today. And she said, I didn't even know them. And she said, so I came home and I started Googling stuff, and I found out that Publix employees are trained to say that. And I said, really? And she said, yep. And I said, but how did you feel when they said it? And she said, you know what, Ron? I still felt good. It still was nice to be greeted like that. The Dalai Lama said, I don't need temples. I don't need complicated philosophies. My brain and my heart are my temple. My philosophy is kindness. So Robert Fulghum is a minister and a writer. In fact, the last time Beck and I were here, we did a workshop based on some of his work. And a lot of times he's funny and makes great spiritual points. But I want to talk to you about something he wrote that doesn't use his humor. He said that one day he saw a homeless person by a thruway, and the person had a sign, and the sign said, homeless Vietnam veteran. So Fulghum decided to stand with him for an hour. And this is what went on in the hour he stood with him. People would drive, look at him, and then quickly look away. Some people would actually change lanes. One guy opened his window and said, get a job, jackass. Somebody else drove by and gave him the finger. A group of teenagers swerved their car at him. And Fulghum said, at the end of the hour, the veteran had gotten one smile and $1. And he said, so I gave him a $20 bill, and I drove him to a shelter. He said, it's not my job to judge him, and I can't fix him permanently, but sometimes a small kindness is enough. Rumi wrote, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So I want to give you one more example before I close. And the example is about a group of doctors that are attending a workshop on communications. And in the afternoon of the workshop, the facilitator asks them to do something. And what he asks them to do is to take out their stethoscopes and listen to their hearts. And the person that wrote the article is a doctor, and she said it was something that most of them had not done in years. Every day, they listened to other people's hearts, but they didn't listen to their own. And for some reason, it really struck them at the miracle that they worked with every day, and the room got completely silent until one of the doctors got up and said, I'd like to say a prayer. This is the prayer he said. It's a Hebrew prayer. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightlessly among miracles. Lord, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. I bet that I have read that prayer 50 times. And for some reason, this time, when I was preparing this message, when I read it, something struck me about it. And what struck me was when the person that wrote this prayer talked about how filled with awe we are. The awe are our gifts from God, like stars and mountains and oceans and trees. But in order to really recognize that awe, in order to see it the way it was meant to be, we really have to feel good. Because if we don't feel loved, if we don't feel cared for, if we don't feel important to anybody in our life, it's hard to recognize anything outside of that, isn't it? Because we tend to just go within. And so, before I conclude, I was thinking today that probably all of us in here know somebody who would benefit from a telephone call, a card, something that lets them know that they're cared for, that they're loved, and that we recognize their goodness. So I encourage you, if you do have somebody like that in your life, sometime this week, let them know. I just have to tell you, one of my sons came to our house for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and he's a big, tough guy, and I grabbed him, and I kissed him, and I said, Jeremy, I really, really, really love you. And he said, are you okay, Dad? So I want to conclude, living from your heart is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's a moment-by-moment choice. It's choosing courage over comfort, compassion over control, truth over fear. And when you listen from your heart, when you love from your heart, you listen more deeply, you forgive more freely, you choose more courageously, and you love without bargaining. The world doesn't need more performance. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people who are brave enough to be authentic, brave enough to feel, brave enough to love without armor. And so I'm going to invite you, if you choose to, before you leave the center today, I invite you to pause, take a breath, put your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what would my heart choose now? And then have the courage to follow it. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Ron. Isn't he amazing? I love listening to him talk. It's a wonderful life. Tradition in my family since my parents, and Christmas Eve, every Christmas Eve, and also now, and when I have my almost 8-year-old son, and you'll see him running up here in a second. Hopefully not running too hard. He's been warned not to run too hard. And he loves coming on Potluck Sunday, by the way, today, folks. We love that. And talking about Publix, just before I play a piano solo, their employees are trained to say hi and be friendly and all that stuff. My years playing piano on the cruise ships, we were trained to do that too. And even though I talk to everybody, sometimes I probably talk too much, but and I always get it hurts me when I think somebody doesn't like me. It really bothers me. I said, what did I do? I got to do something to make that person like me, because it's in part of my brain, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, employees on cruise ships are told to do that too. If you're within like a 10-foot radius, you say hi. You say hi, how are you today, kind of thing. Anyway, it's always a good rule of thumb no matter what. Anyhow, about once a month or so, and today's the day I get to do a piano solo, and today's the day, as I mentioned. I have a request for Irene likes this tune. She's sitting right there in yellow. And it's called Malagueña. It's a Spanish tune composed by a Cuban composer back in 1933. Both my parents would have been 2 years old in 1933. Anyway, so it's called Malagueña. I love the tune, and I hope you like it as well.
I gotta get caught up here.
And my encore is.
Okay. I gotta get caught up. Okay, this is a Whitestone ceremony. Okay, here we go. All righty. Okay. All right. My job now is the offertory blessing. And I don't, here it is. Now is the time in our service where we are able to give back that which has been so abundantly given. There are tithing envelopes near you for you to put your love offering in and place in the baskets as you exit the sanctuary. There are also opportunities to give online. Thank you for your support. Now, Unity of Citrus is a tithing community. We give generously to local organizations and partner with those in our neighborhood who continue to bless and make Citrus County a wonderful place for all to live. Now, the blessings for the tithes and loving, all of you, I hope you remember it, or if you don't, let's go. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send forth this gift with my blessings and my love. And I believe we have children. Coming?
I got it. I think I'm supposed to. Just this. Don't you do the collection? So it's time that we do the blessing of the children. We love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you. And we see you doing great things.
Okay, now is the peace song, and then the prayer for protection. And the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
What is this going?
Go with him.
I'm going to go up it. Okay. Okay. Now, we'll squiggle there. One goes to the screen, one comes across to me.
And that's the one that comes across to you.
I think it's this one comes across to me. Maybe not. Just this.
Did you find the text?
Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean
Welcome
on.
to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love. May we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. May we learn to love each other more with each new day. May words of love be on our lips in everything we say. May the Spirit melt our hearts and teach us how to pray, that we might be a true family. Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on.
May we learn to love each other more with each new day. May words of love be on our lips in everything we say. May the Spirit melt our hearts and teach us how to pray, that we might be
That's you.
true family.
Welcome to the family. We're glad that you have come to share your life with us as we grow in love, and may we always be to you what God would have us be, a family always there to be strong and to lean on. To be strong and to lean on. To be strong and to lean on.
Yeah, you're up there, but I'm not. Actually, I don't need it back here. I can run through it without being on my screen. Hold on.
That's the one that's being faulted.
Welcome
Which
to
one?
the
You
family.
see, you don't run through the
We're
spot.
glad that
So
you
it's the video
have
part?
come to share your life with us as we grow in love. May we always be to you
Thank you.
It's in here.
Okay, yeah.
It's in here.
I quoted you a few dollars and cents.
Yeah, thank you.
You've just gone back up, we've gone up to 70 cents and a quarter.
Gas here is really expensive.
Can be more so in the week.
Becky was telling me today, actually on the way here, she saw something from Maria Shriver, a blog. Gas in California, in Southern California.
$6.99.
Yeah, it's over $6 a gallon.
Yeah, somebody sent me a Facebook thing, and the guy is sitting there with the gas signs in the back, and he's wearing a MAGA hat, and he's holding a Republican hat going. Like that, that was,
You know what the thing is that's really, I mean, I'm not a Trump person, but the president has no influence on gas prices.
no, not at all. And frankly, we're one of the largest gas
has.
producers.
No.
When you go and blow up the oil wells,
Oh, okay, that, yeah, all right.
yeah,
But most of the time, they don't. It's the market sets it.
it's the market, but when you blow,
Yeah, when you blow up all the
Yeah,
refineries,
I know.
and you keep the ships from
Well,
moving.
wait till if he blows up Iran's oil, wait and see what.
He did.
No, he blew
They had
up.
an island with a refinery and all
Yeah,
that.
but he didn't blow up any of the oil.
No, not
He
the
only
fuel.
blew up the military stuff. And he's,
No, I think I heard
No.
that he hit the island that had their,
that's,
that's more military?
no, it's both.
Oh, okay.
They've got all the 90% of their oil refineries. He didn't touch them. He bombed all of the military facilities, and then he told them, if you guys keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz, then we're going to blow up all of your oil.
Okay.
he hasn't done that yet.
Not yet.
No.
But it's like going in, having full tanks of gas in this gas station and blowing up the petrol pumps. He went in and hit Carg Island. Carg Island is a very, very large loading port.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's got, and he's also shut down, or the Iraqis have shut down the Straits of Hormuz. And they've sunk one
Well,
tanker.
well, that's what he said. He said if they keep shutting down Hormuz, then he's going to bomb all the oil on that island.
Yeah, well, they can't load ships anymore. That's, so, you know, we're going to see some nice,
I'm still
Wait,
projecting.
well, he
even
said
disconnected.
yesterday, the war will end when he feels it in his bones.
Yeah, that's not what
That's
determines,
bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what determines things.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you in
I don't care
a
what he
month or two.
feels.
the guy that's got his number is Mark Carney.
That's right, yeah, our
Oh,
grandson.
from Canada, yeah.
Yeah, the Canada Prime Minister, he's made sure his country is going to get,
Now,
is going to be safe.
a journey,
Um,
it's a journeyman,
his-
journeyman.
The steel that he was sending to us is going to, I think it's going to India right now. Some might be going to China too, some might be,
Okay,
can't remember exactly where.
yeah, he just
But the rare earths that they want for building motors and stuff like that, that's all going to India. India's building up fast on,
Yeah, he's,
and that's missed opportunity.
my wife can't even talk about him.
so
She gets so upset.
and
We do
went to
too.
college in
All right, we got a long ride, so see ya.
Okay, bless you, thank
Bless
you.
you
Love
too.
both.
the college years.
I always enjoy, we both really look, this is like one of the friendliest churches, because I speak at a lot of different churches,
Went into
and it's always so welcoming.
training as
Well, sometimes we get it right with the,
so
we don't have paying equipment. Never mind.
cares
This is the
about
first time that we've lost.
Thank you, Reverend Ron, see ya.
See ya.
So do we know what it is now?
I'll let you know when I'm coming in.
And you're still projecting up there, even though you're disconnected.
So Jenny suggested there's a new
No, you must be
era.
projecting it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it must be you, John.
okay.
What's on your screen?
I don't have anything on my screen, it's black.
Uh,
But you know, I could have run this, if we could have done this much, I could have run it, I don't need my screen.
okay, try seeing if you've got control of that.
Oh, I do, I've already gone through it.
okay, we can plug it in too.
Now let me see if I'm getting anything over here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the little screen down there.
Let me load that into, I'll go over there.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been here.
Well,
I really miss coming to church. We don't have much in Wikiwachi where I live.
yeah,
We have, this is the closest one going north, and that's 45 minutes for me. And then there's another one going south, and that's also 45 minutes.
Oh.
So the closest metaphysical church, we have a lot of, regular Christian churches, but not much in the way of metaphysics.
well, I tell you, have you ever heard of Pamela Gray? She comes here.
Okay.
And,
She lives in Wikiwachi?
no, she lives in, Denella.
Denellen? Oh, that's a
But
distance too.
Marion County's way up.
Yeah, that's a distance too.
Yeah.
That's going north.
And she's, one of our prayer champions.
Oh, okay. Well, I trained under Ron Fox. I used to go to his church when I lived on the East Coast, and became a practitioner, and which is similar to your prayer. You have a prayer program, and we had to go through a program for 2 years to become a practitioner. And
No.
but I just miss coming to church.
We've got it there, but not on my
But
monitor.
sometimes I get up in the morning and I just don't feel like driving 45 minutes.
Well, normally, if you don't feel like driving, you can always watch our service and join in.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. It's on Zoom.
Yeah, no, it's not, we don't do it on Zoom, we do it on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Okay, okay. I watch YouTube on a regular basis. I watch all the underground news that don't lie to you.
Yeah, but yes, you'll be very, very welcome.
But I've been a friend for a long time of Elaine Wheeler.
Yeah.
Her and I've been friends for a long time.
With whom?
Elaine Wheeler?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I
we've been
know.
friends for a long time.
I didn't see her today.
Because she used to live on the East Coast, and I used to have groups book study groups, and she used to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still do them on where I live, but down to one group, I used to do two. But, now that I just turned 85 this December, so I'm not as agile as I used to be.
I'm 82 and I'm not either.
But good news, I'm still in good health, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, they haven't found a replacement for me yet, and they've been looking for a while.
Well, there is no replacement for you. There's no replacement for any of us, right?
Well, we need software
Oh, yeah, okay.
experienced people,
Yes, I know. I was just,
Well, thank you so much, Nancy, and do feel free.
yeah. I'm gonna try to make it more often because I really do. Today showed me how much I miss it.
Oh, sorry, it's Ginny, not Nancy.
No, Ginny, Ginny, yeah. Well, it's like gin and tonic, Ginny. Oh, nice meeting you. And you are?
Michael.
Michael, okay. One of my favorite names. One of my favorite names. That's my youngest son's name is
Okay,
Michael.
could I take a note of your
Was in the weekly wake-up?
Yes, but we haven't received any notice that our meeting's
That's okay. This is just a quick, off-the-cuff.
Well, we can handle those too.